Let's start with the event. Good evening to one and all present here. Today we have amongst us Ms. Khushi Trivedi, a third-year engineering student at Lakshmi Narayan College of Technology and Science, Bhopal. She currently serves as the lead and ambassador in Google and Microsoft communities and has been a finalist of the Smart Thinking Hackathon. An astronomy freak, she has been an IAAC 21 bronze finalist. She works as a freelancer on front-end development and also enjoys graphic designing and content writing. Today, she is here to guide us through two important development tools, Git and GitHub, indispensable to the software industry. We hope that the event serves as a foundation for the upcoming Hacktoberfest. A note to our audience, please drop in any queries in the chat box and we shall take them up from time to time. Now, I would like to hand it over to Khushi to commence with today's evening's event. Khushi, please take over.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Khushi, you're audible.
Thank you so much, Sonakshi, for the wonderful introduction you gave to me. I'm so excited for host this for some university which I do not belong, because I actually feel so proud and honored to interact with new people, and myself being a bit informal for now. So it's really fascinating to see my friends at MIT Jaipur. I mean, Manipal University Jaipur. It's so good that I am being the guest speaker here and I'm able to deliver my knowledge to you guys. So I just hope to give you the best quality of your time, and any questions or anything, please feel free to ask me. And I think we're good to go with the event. And thank you for the opportunity and the wonderful introduction, by the way. So let me start by sharing my screen. Just give me a minute, guys. Is my screen visible to everyone? Can you please confirm?
Yep, it's visible.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So this is about me. My name is Khushi Trivedi. I'm the founder and lead of Google Developer Students Club of my college, LNCTS. So I'm also a part of the Google community of my college, and a local Google community, Google Developers Group. I'm also a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, or I should say, I am first being in the Microsoft community. I recently joined the other communities. So my first community experience was with Microsoft. And it's really exciting to connect with people of all sorts who contribute. Some people contribute in cloud computing, some in machine learning, some in web, some are exploring Web3, some are into cybersecurity, some into app development. It's so fun to be in such a vibrant community, and it's so great to be collaborating. I'm collaborating with Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador for this session. Talking about more myself, so it's like I'm a third year student as stated, and my field of study is CSE, cybersecurity, basically the specialization. I belong from Bhopal, so I did my schooling from Bhopal itself, from Kamal Convent Senior Secondary School, BHEL Bhopal. Talking about my interest, well, I am basically an astronomy lover. So I participated in many competitions and many opportunities of astronomy. So I became a NASA citizen scientist and also a mentor for the Citizen Scientist program in India. Also, I was invited to be the summer school student at Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Bangalore, and I bagged the bronze honor at International Astronomy and Astrophysics competition in the year 2021. So this was all about what astronomy I have, explored in astronomy, talking about CSE. So it's like I'm passionate about machine learning and data science. So I'm learning data science at DevTown. I recently finished my research paper in microstrip patch antenna at Indian Space Society. And yes, I do freelancing as a content writer, as a graphic designer, and as a front end web developer. So, just in case you have any queries related to these fields, I'm up for you guys. Coming to the next slide, what's the plan? So, today we are here to discuss something meaningful, of course. So, let's see what's the plan is. Well, this is the session overview. We have the session in 4 parts, basically. First is introduction to Git. At the end of the session, I will be providing you with a Git command cheat sheet, which will help you to have an overall overview about how Git acts, what Git commands are, what is the purpose of each Git command. We will see, in the upcoming minutes in the session. Then we have the second part of the session, that is introduction to GitHub. Yes, Git and GitHub are different things. How to access GitHub Student Developer Pack. Actually, this is nothing like a promotional thing. It's for the students because you know what is a community. It's for the people of community and by the people of the community. So just like democracy, you can say. So GitHub Student Developer Pack is nothing like a membership or a course or something. It's basically some good tools for the coders and the designers out there so that being a student, they get to access, some premium tools. We'll just see to it. Also, as I said, Git and GitHub are not the same. We will be looking into the differences between the two. The third part of the session would cover introduction to open source. Yes, open source is a very, very big thing, guys. It is more than anyone could expect. So, can I have a cheer if anyone knows what is open source? Can I know if anyone knows open source here? What exactly it is or have any idea? Anyone?
Yes, I have idea.
All right. So, yes,
Uh,
we will be looking into open source. Can I know what exactly you know about open source?
yes, open source is a platform where we come and learn many things about the uh, coding and many things like in which we are exactly passionate to learn. This is open sources. And
Okay.
are they allowed to learn? Everyone can come and learn according to their needs what they want to learn. So that's the open sources available.
Okay. Thank you so much. Can I please know your name?
My name is Siddhartha, and basically I'm a student of MUJ, and I'm working on a project with coding with coffee. This is my project, which is I'm started to making in MUJ.
Okay, this is so fascinating, by the way. Thank you so much for your interaction. By the way, I love the audience because this is such an exciting session. We've just started and I got a good response. Thank you so much for this. Yes, it's kind of like yes, as per the person said, but we have something more in open source. We will explore it. And talking about the second part is hands-on session. So yes, we will be looking about how GitHub actually works, how can you contribute to open source, what exactly means how to contribute in an open source thing. And the fourth part, which is kind of an optional if you guys actually want to know how to become a Microsoft Learn student ambassador. And if time allows, I'll be telling you about the insights that how can you become, what exactly the program is. So let's move to the beginning. Yeah, let's begin. So introduction to Git. Git is a distributed version control system for tracking the changes in the source code during software development. So going word by word, because I actually think this has to be something beginner friendly so that it becomes good for you to learn and good for me to teach. So is that fine if I go a beginner friendly level?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
guys. Thank you. So, okay, Git is basically a distributed version control system. We all must be knowing what exactly version is. People say it's a new version of me, it's a new version of this. What exactly version is? Version means, you know, a person or a thing that I gave an example of being a news, being, something new of the older thing. Okay, adding something new or deleting something new from the previous thing. So it's called a version. We know what is a version, right? So Git basically is a distributed. What do we mean by distributed? It means it's not holding in one's hand, it's actually distributed among so many people. So consider an example, you're working in a hackathon project. Okay, a hackathon is something in which you make a team and you work in a project, you build a software, either it's a website or it's an app or anything. So consider a case. Is anyone speaking? All right, I must continue, I guess. Okay, so consider a case you're working in a hackathon, and let's say you're making a website. All right, so you have like 4 or 6 members. Half of you are working on front end, half of you are working on back end. So it's like there is one project, there is one website, and 6 of you are working. So with if you're working, for example, in a conventional manner that you're writing a code, everybody is making their change in that code itself, and if there's any error you have to manually get back and correct it, and then if you want to go back to another previous version you have to manually delete the code, write the code again, and this is how it works in a conventional thing. All right, 6 of you people are working on one file, and this is such a hectic thing because obviously it has so many things to relate. Because Git, if you use Git, it's basically like you all 6 people do not have to go and attack on one file. It's basically you can work on your own file on your own systems, and Git actually keeps a track who made what change, who added which code, who made which change at what time, and in which file the change was made, in which version the change was made. So this is something like distributed. I get to know what my team member is doing, so this is called a distributed system. And what is a version control system? A version control system basically means that, okay, I made a website, all right, so I have to add some new versions to the website, some new features. So I will prepare new features and add to the website. Now consider those features are not, looking good in that website. So what would we do? We want to go back to the previous one. No, we don't want these things. We want to go back to the previously how the website looked. So this is what exactly a version control system means, that Git allows you to go back to the previous version. All right. And even if you want to come back again, you can come back again. But in those conventional project making things with your friends, you're working on one file, you're changing the source code again and again. This is not happening. So it's basically like an undo and redo option you can have. So it's how easy if you get in Notepad, you do not get usually an undo or a redo option. It did not exist earlier. And if, now talking about the Word document, it's far more easier and easy to create any text files. So this is what the difference is. But Git actually works on everybody's desktop. So it's like it doesn't work on, it doesn't need the internet access, and it's really good to work in Git. It allows multiple developers to work on the same project and track every single change. So just in case, I'm just joking, but yes, it might happen that your teammate might be jealous and changes your code or something. So you get to see, okay, this person changed these changes at this time. So this is what exactly Git is. What is it used for? So Git is definitely used for software development. So it covers app development, cloud computing, bug reporting, DevOps, web development. So Git is used for this. And what are the features? So as I told, tracks the revision history, who did the change, when was the change done, what exactly were the changes, and in which file, which directory, where the changes were been done. Also stores the source code. What do you mean by source code? A source code is something which is the first original file of the code that you made. All right. As I said, the first original file of the code that you made, for example, of a website. So your website is here. Now that you want to add some changes, adding some web pages, adding some animations, so you make changes to the source code. The source code is stored in Git. It doesn't change. You make changes, further on you add versions to it, but yes, the first initial code always is stored in Git. So this is an added advantage that you can view the first, code that you've written on your website or something. Stores each version created. Even if you are on the version or you don't want this version, you come back to the version. The version will be saved for sure. So this is the feature of Git. Merge any code changes. So any code changes that you make, it merges it, as I said. Revert to previous code versions if needed anytime. As I said, for example, you put any animation in the website. The animation is not looking good or doesn't match with the theme or something. You want to remove that animation and go back to the previous type of the website that it was. So you can do it by going to the previous version. So Git allows you to shift to the previous version anytime. And if you feel no, that animation would have been better than putting it an empty thing, so you can again skip back. So you can jump both the ways anytime and any number of times. So another feature is stores full development history locally. So the whole of the development history, what exactly were changes made, as I said, is stored locally in your desktop, in your system. Now, yeah, what exactly a version control system looks like, what exactly Git does, why should I use Git, and why is Git so useful, so important. So it's basically like the first thing that you can see is version control. Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, version control without Git. So there's a version 1 of a source code. You did some changes, you jumped to version 2. Now you want to make some other changes, you want to go to version 3. Consider version 3 is not good, you want to shift to version 2. Without using Git, you cannot shift to version 2. Alright, with Git, you can shift to any version anytime and any number of times. The next is, how does exactly this work? So like you have a combined code and not the previous one without Git. Maintaining Git actually tracks your whole changes, who made the change, in which version the changes were made, in which directory or in which file the changes were made. Everything is stored. So basically here you can see there are three parts: the working directory, the staging area, and the repository. What is this git add, git commit? Git add, basically git and the command is actually a git command with which you operate Git. For example, take an example, you must have worked on turtle and made some cool shapes and everything. So you had those, commands to make any designs or something. So just like this, for using Git, we have Git commands. Every application has certain commands to use in everything. In Git, we have Git commands. So it's basically like Git and the command ahead. So in order to add something, we have git add. In order to commit something, we have git commit. In order to delete something, we have git delete. So this is how git actually works. Git command actually works. We will look into some other git commands. First, let's understand the working of git. So this is formally a working directory. So this is a place where you have maintained your code, or you have written your code, or you have maintained any of your files. Okay, this is the place where your file is stored. When you make any changes to the working directory by adding or by any git command, it moves to the staging area. The staging area is like adding to the staging area assures that you are making any changes. All right, that yes, you're making changes. That is why you have come from working directory to the staging area. When you are sure to make the changes and you want to save the changes, you're finalizing the changes. Yes, I want these changes. So you use git commit in order to save and finalize these changes. So now the changes on your repository are made successfully and it moves to the repository. And here you have a repository and all your changes are done from the source file from the first destination to now it's called a repository. So repository is basically a finalized thing which you have now after all the changes, after saving all the changes. So it has all the recorded changes, all the changes that are recorded that you made these changes. It stores all the versions, all the previous versions, everything. So yeah, there is no meme. I'm just checking in how you're doing. So am I going a bit fast or a bit slow? Any feedback for me that are you guys getting what's going on? Hello?
It's going great, Khushi.
Okay, thank you. So I'll proceed further. So yeah, as I said, there are some git command cheat sheet. So first is git config. It is used to config the username and the email address. Yes, you have to make your own ID for using git and everything. It's a bit complex for the beginners, so I'll be providing this cheat sheet to the authorities of and they will circulate it further. And we have git add, git diff, git init. So it's basically to initialize a git local repository. We've just seen what exactly a repository is. Then we have git commit, then git reset, git merge, git status. So it's all the git commands, the git as I said, git and the command ahead, whatever you want to change. If you want to merge, you have git merge. If you want to add, you have git add. And this is how it works. So yeah, moving on, we have GitHub. Everyone knows Cabby, right? So yeah, it's GitHub time. Now, what exactly is GitHub? We have seen Git being in this. Yeah, this is how Git works. This is how it works, and how files are stored, how repository is made. Now, this is what we were all talking about in your PC, in your computer. All right. This is not what we're talking about any interference with the internet or anything. This is what is happening inside your laptop, inside your computer. But now we have GitHub. So GitHub is basically, you can understand, being informal enough. So you can understand GitHub to be Git. If Git is made online, if Git is hosted on a cloud thing, it becomes GitHub. All right. So yeah, introduction to GitHub. So here we become knowledgeable enough to know what exactly Git is. And now we move on to what is GitHub. So GitHub is globally recognized as the most advanced and most reliable development platforms because it's so famous. People use GitHub. Every person, every developer almost knows what is GitHub, uses GitHub in their everyday lives, and where millions of companies and developers build and maintain their software, their code. They either do it individually or they do it in a team, They either do it publicly or they do it privately. So GitHub is something like a playground for the developers, a playground for the coders to make their software, to add them, to allow others to add something, to work on it, to make something creative, and it's just like a playground for the developers out there. So if you're a developer, you will definitely indulge in it and you will love what GitHub is. Because, and even this is nothing a foreign thing, because there are so many people using GitHub, and people are like, this is like you are getting so much support because so many people are using it. So if you have any issues in some point, all the issues are already solved mostly. So this is what GitHub is. This platform is for working, maintaining and tracking one's public or private repositories that offers a cloud-based Git repository plus its own feature. Oh my god, what is this? All right, I'll be explaining you. We saw what repositories are, right? So repository contains all the project files with revision history that you made. As I said, any changes you want to make, you finally commit, and then it's in the form of a repository. Or the final thing, the final project, the final code, it is called a repository in Git. As I said, Git, when hosted to internet, is called GitHub. So it's very simple. Almost the terminologies have to be same. Repository in Git is the same as in GitHub. So GitHub is essentially a working and maintaining and tracking platform just like Git. Git was also a working platform, a maintaining platform, and a tracking platform. But here in GitHub, you have the option to either work publicly or you can work privately. You can work in a group or you can work individually in any repository of your choice. So it's, as I said, it's a playground, it's a park for the developers that offers you a cloud-based Git repository. I said Git, when hosted to internet, is GitHub. So in technical terms, it's written that offers a cloud-based Git repositories plus its own features. So what is the difference? Okay, I still can't figure out what the difference is. Git and GitHub, the name is same, the things are same. What exactly is the difference? I can't get this. So okay, let me explain you guys. Um, yeah, let me first explain. Here we saw here that it offers a cloud-based Git repository. So let me tell you what cloud-based means. So cloud-based, exactly, you can see the structure. Okay, you have something like cloud-based is essentially a term that refers to any application or any service or any software, any website, any file, any picture, video, text file, anything that is made available to the user on demand via internet. What do you mean on demand? That means anywhere that you are, anywhere that you operate, whether you operate from your mobile, whether you operate from your laptop, whether you operate from your computer, it's available on all three of them, any of them, and it is available via internet. So an internet connection is basically needed in order to access those files, those softwares, those services which are hosted in cloud. This is what cloud-based means. So it's basically provided. What is cloud? Cloud is, in Hindi we call it badal. So badal, why do we call it badal? Okay, something that is resting up. A badal, a cloud is resting up. So it's available to so many people. So many people can see, yes, that cloud. All right. So in this manner, a cloud stands superior. It has all the files, all the applications and everything, and anyone, any user from either mobile or PC or laptop can access the information. They just need a communication of internet to access it. For example, Google Drive. All right, I'm talking about Microsoft, but yeah, Google Drive is the most common example if I have to explain you in layman terms. So yeah, You know what is Google Drive? You just upload anything to Google Drive and you can share it to anyone, so that anyone with that link, whether it's from the phone, whether it's from the PC, if the person has the link, if the person has the internet connection, can access those files. This exactly is what I mean here, but this is in technical terms. So this is what cloud based means. So just giving another example what cloud is. So a digital data which is stored, managed and processed on a network of remote servers hosted on the internet rather than on local servers or local computer. As I said, you have a video, all right? You have a video which is there on your PC. Now, in order to share it to someone, you have to actually, either take your laptop to show them the video, see the video, I have this on my PC, or else you could transfer it to your phone and then show it, or otherwise share them via any cloud based service like Google Cloud or AWS or IBM. These are the cloud services that you have. So even the applications, these are cloud hosted. So you share it via them so that anyone with the internet connection can access that video. Now coming back to the topic, get back to the topic. So, so yeah, what I mean is there is a difference. Consider the left part. We have CD, we have pen drive, we have SD card, we have a hard disk, and consider the right side. We have a cloud. We have cloud services. Consider the left side to be Git. This analogy I'm explaining you because you know it very well. You must be using all these things since your childhood. So consider Git being the left side and GitHub being on the right side. So Git is basically, these are the local things. If you lose them, if you do not have the access to your pen drive, you won't be able to access the files. The same is with Git. If you do not have the laptop in which you have the files, in which you have your ID for Git, you are not able to access those files from any others in someone else's laptop. But in case of GitHub, you just need to make an account. It's all cloud based. So any files or anything you want to access, you can even access GitHub from your phone. So it's just this way that how the differences are. I'm just explaining you with the basic, very basic, that what exactly the difference is. That Git is something in the local thing in your local machine, but GitHub is in the internet. It's a cloud based thing. So yeah, still getting to know exactly. Okay, now I got the analogy and everything. Now tell me the difference exactly, what Git and GitHub actually have the difference. Okay, coming to the difference. Yeah, this is the difference. So Git is installed locally in your system, which is directly installed in your system. GitHub is hosted on the cloud. It's not installed in the system. You can have GitHub desktop or those desktop applications of GitHub, but yes, it's mostly cloud. The next difference is Git could be hosted offline. It is hosted offline actually. Git only and only requires internet connection. Without internet, you cannot access GitHub, but you can access Git without internet. Git can be used without using GitHub. As I said, GitHub has no significance without Git. Git is basic, GitHub is kind of advanced. Git is a version control system for source code management and code sharing. So it's like a version control system, and GitHub provides the centralized thing, as I said. Moving on, Git is a command line. It operates on command lines like push, merge, pull, commit. So how can we access these command lines? By using Git commands. How do we write Git commands? Git and the command ahead. So this is how we write Git commands. GitHub is a web-based service. All right. So command line has no significance. You just have buttons, you just have features, you just click and you get the feature. You don't have to write the command lines, you don't have to write the code. It's like just click on a button and there you are. You have a button for merge, You have a button for commit, you have a button for pull, you have buttons for everything in GitHub. You don't have to write any such commands. In Git, Git is released under open source license. So we will be learning what open source is, of course. So just getting to know the difference here. GitHub includes a free and a paid tier versions of GitHub for users. So just explaining you in one line, Git is absolutely free of cost for anyone, anywhere, anytime. But GitHub actually is free as well as paid. It has some paid things, premium versions. It has some premium features, and the most of it is free. And yes, the competitors. Apart from Git, what can I use? For example, apart from using Google Drive, you can use Microsoft services, right? You can use Outlook, you can use OneDrive, OneDrive. And just exactly like this, you have Git. Instead of Git, you can use IBM, you can use Mercurial, you can use Rational Team Concert, etc. So these are the applications which are equivalent to Git. You can use Git or you can use them. For GitHub, we have either GitLab or Atlassian, etc. So you can use GitHub or you can use this. These are the alternatives. These are the competitors, I should say. Okay, come to the next topic, the most awaited topic because it's high in demand. We are approaching October. So, what exactly is October for? Okay, for the developers and the coders, October is a very eminent month in which you contribute to open source, and it's a very exciting thing. It's a kind of a developers festival. As I said, GitHub is the playground for the developers. October is actually kind of, festival for developers. It's a Hacktoberfest. So, yeah, talking about what is open source. A source code which is made freely available to the public and welcomes any sort of collaboration and any redistribution is termed as open source. It essentially means collaboration based software. So, open source does not only mean that it's open to learn, it is also open to collaborate. Okay, what is the difference then? Okay, my friend said it's an open learning platform. It's something like, anyone could learn anything. Yes, he's true. But basically, open source means some anything like it's available free to the public. It's publicly available to everyone sitting at any corner of the world, accessing it from any device. It's free for everyone, firstly. Secondly, it's accessible to anyone. Anyone could access it, anyone could use it without any foundations. Thirdly, anyone can collaborate. For example, you must have used those VLC media player for playing any songs, for playing any movies, the VLC media player, right? So this is an example of open source project, by the way. I'll explain you with the real life example. So VLC media player, for example, I think in my opinion, VLC media player should have one more button somewhere in the right side. According to me, there should be. I feel a need that there should be a button of this feature. Consider any feature in your mind. So I must think an additional feature should be added in this VLC media player, and it probably should be on the right side. All right. So what will I do? I will approach to the organization via GitHub and other open source platforms like GitLab and all what I told. So I will approach the organization. I will say, dude, it's like, okay, it has to be formal by the way, but I'm just explaining you in some kind of informal stuff so that you get to know. So I'll just approach the, company. I'll say, dude, your product VLC media player is actually really good. I use it myself, but I personally feel a need that it should have an additional feature. The feature should be this, the feature should be on the right side, and I think people will like it. So the person says, yeah, it sounds kind of good to me, but do you know how to code it? I say, yes, I know how to make that feature. He said, cool, just make a feature. And if that looks good, we will add your feature in our, you know, in our product. So, wow, that's a great thing. Because me, being an ordinary person, being a person from a small city from Bhopal, and just a third year student, is able to make changes to something which people use it worldwide. VLC media player, so many people use it around, and I am able to make a change in something which so many people use it. And I will be given the credit that she, Khushi Trivedi, made the change. So and so changes were made by her, and so many people might even love the change. So, this is a great opportunity that there is no foundation that who can make a change, what changes they are, and what level of education they are, whether they belong from which college, whether they are a coder or a non-coder. We'll come back to that, that how a non-coder can collaborate. But yes, open source is open for everyone. So its doors are open. Any student, any professional, even anyone from their 10th standard, a 10th standard child can even make any big collaborations with some reputed softwares and companies. So this is the beauty of open source. And this is why we say it a festival, because in a festival, it's irrespective of who is celebrating. Everybody celebrates festival. Everybody, irrespective of how they are, what they are, and um, any other reservations. There are no reservations for any festival. This is why we call open source to be a very very good thing for developers, that oh my god, it's such a big thing that I can contribute to anything. I can add my feature, but yes, that has to be a valid one, that has to be accepted by the company, and that has to be, something which is meaningful. So, yeah, this was all talking about the feel that open source gives to the developers. If you're new to open source, you now might know that it's such a big thing that we have. So another time, I'm just reading it out so that you can just relate it what I explained. A source code which is made freely available to the public and welcomes any sort of collaboration and redistribution is termed as open source. Another name for open source could be collaboration based software. So now, what exactly perk will you get if you contribute to open source? Why should I write a code for some other company, which the feature would be added to someone else? What will I get? So these are the perk, guys. Firstly, you work with esteemed developers globally. When I mean you work, I actually mean, yes, being greedy, you can simply add it to your resume without any further question in your mind that, yes, I collaborated with these people made my changes possible in their software, and this is a very, very reputed thing. Second, learn to code better. Whenever you write a code, whenever you make something which is publicly available, so those codes doesn't have to be the rough codes that okay, it's just happening, it's just written somehow. The codes has to be something which is presentable as well. Why? Because in case in future anyone needs to understand that code, it has to be understandable firstly. Secondly, in case there are some changes, there are some edits to be made, the code has to be understandable in order to make relevant changes in future. So this is why people actually want that whatever codes you write, it's not something in a haphazard manner. It has to be written very properly in a professional manner. All right, we know how to write the syntax and everything works, but a code has to be written in something in a presentable manner so that any other person, any third person who comes and understands your code gets to actually know, okay, what's going on, what you have coded. So you actually learn to code better with people who are already professionals. So of course, you're being with professionals, so you're learning how to be professional. So you build professionalism, of course. Thirdly, you build your online reputation for sure, as I said, and a community stand. People get to know you. Okay, this person actually collaborated in such a reputed thing. It's actually a feather on your cap, guys, and it's really, really outstanding. And people also get, jobs out of open source collaborations, open source contributions. Yes, in my knowledge, I have two people talking informally again. In my knowledge, I have two people who have cracked, who got offers. They actually cracked their, on campus jobs, their on campus placements. But yes, they were collaborating in open source. They got offers which were paying double the placement that they cracked. So you get offers if you're a good coder. People call you from front that please work in our organization. So it's a very, very esteemed and reputed thing again. Yes, now coming to the fourth perk, it improves your development skills and soft skills, of course. Why do I mean this? Well, when you're being with people around, you get to interact with them, you get to have some professionalism, some manners, and of course, you develop those vocabularies which are accepted in the community, which are accepted professionally. So, this is what actually benefits you. It boosts your resume. As I said, you do not think even the second time to put your contributions to the resume. It's a big thing, guys. You get to network very powerful people. Okay, you might have to work in open source. Anyone could work in any organization if that's good enough. So consider you get to work in a startup, who is the founder of the startup, and later on that person becomes to be a great person, a very reputed person, a sensation in the developer fields. Or else you directly go and work in some open source contributions, like for example Nvidia or something, and you get to interact with people who are leading their projects, either in their region or they globally, or you get to interact with so many people, and that is again a new thing. It's networking. It's called networking. So projects on GitHub are clear example of open source. This is why I included this after GitHub. That yes, after GitHub actually, if you're doing anything on GitHub, it actually simply go and it hints to open source software. So this is what open source is. This is what open source actually mean, that yes, you learn, but you collaborate even more. Coming to the next slide. So this is again another meme. How much? Like, okay, yeah. How much? So they say no, it's free actually because it's open source. So yeah, just to lighten the seriousness, I just think that these things are a bit good for the audience. Now, coming back to how open source is, what open source is going on. I just want to know how to do it. I know everything about open source. Tell me what the steps should I follow. All right, guys, here the step-by-step approach that how you can contribute to open source right now. Because as I said, there are no boundaries. It's open to everyone as it is called open source. So the first one is you should master your skills. Yes, I said there are no boundaries, anyone could do. But of course, in order to have a meaningful contribution, the organization should accept your idea. For that, you should have a meaningful idea, and for that, you should have a particular skill so that you know how things go. So, definitely, as I said, it's for everyone, but that doesn't mean you do not have the skill and you're going to contribute. You first need to master a skill, master and develop your skills either in web development, any field that you're in machine learning, in app development, in technical writing even. Yeah, I said any person who belongs from code or non-code background are eligible to contribute in open source. I meant technical writing by non-code. Yeah, actually this comes under non-code. You can either code in any of the developer fields like web development, app development, anything. And on the other hand, you can do non-code, which is technical writing. Now, what exactly is technical writing? Okay, guys, I know a person personally, again talking informally a bit. I know a person personally who actually reported a spelling mistake in the Python code of NVIDIA repository. You know what is NVIDIA? You must be using the graphic cards and all. So, NVIDIA, such a big name, of course. NVIDIA had a repository, okay. In one of those files, there was a Python code in which there was, a comment added. There was one spelling mistake in the comment. A comment in a code doesn't even matter, as we all know. So there was one spelling mistake in the comment, and the person actually identified it. He said, okay, this code actually has one error in the comment. This is the error. This is how it should be corrected. And the authorities in NVIDIA actually merged his request, and he got to say that yes, I collaborated in NVIDIA. They merged my request. So this is how open source means. It's not writing heavy codes, lengthy codes, debugging those codes. It is sometimes even a small spelling mistake, even in the documentation or in the comments or anything. So yes, I am not promoting you guys that don't study, don't code, you just find the spelling mistake. No, it doesn't happen that way. But yes, it's just a matter of that your observations, your luck or something. So yeah, coming back to the topic, master a skill. Now coming to the second step, know version control. So before knowing open source, you should know the open source platforms like Git, GitHub, GitLab, etc. And to know this GitLab, Git and GitHub and Atlassian, etc., you should know softwares like Git, etc. So learn Git commands, forking, what exactly is forking, what is commit, what is push, know the all terminologies, know the glossaries of it, and there you are. Also, we come to the third step, find an organization. So what do we mean by this? I said there are various companies, there are various organizations which actually have open source projects. As I said, for example, VLC Media Player. So VLC Media Player is basically a product, okay, in which people can contribute it. Mozilla Firefox. Guys, other than Chrome, we have Mozilla Firefox. How many of you actually use Mozilla Firefox? Can I know?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
used.
We are
Okay.
using.
We are
No?
using Firefox.
We are using
And
Chrome, Mozilla Firefox.
okay,
And
anyone using
Brave,
Linux? Ubuntu?
Yes, yes, I
brave,
will
brave.
using.
Okay. So guys, let me tell you, other than Windows, Mac, there is another operating system you can say. It's Ubuntu and the kernel is Linux. So Linux is essentially coming under open source. So it's free. So the operating system Linux is free for everyone worldwide. And again, telling more about Linux, even Wikipedia is also an open source. We must have written our project definitions, our project copy paste from Wikipedia. So this is again an open source thing that everyone is free to access it from anywhere in the world. Anyone can collaborate to these projects, and there you are. You just need to find an organization in which you need to collaborate. You just need to decide, okay, I need to collaborate in, say, Linux. I really like, the software, the user interface and everything in Linux. And I personally like Linux. So I just want to have one more feature that I wish. And the organization, you reported to the organization. The organization said, wow, this is a nice feature you came up with. We can have it in our in our project, but do you know how to code it? You say yes. So the organization says, okay, fine, just prepare a code. If it looks good, we will add it to ours. So it looks good, and congratulations, you have successfully collaborated and contributed to Linux project. So this is how, again, as I explained, open source works. So the third step is find an organization. These are some examples of some organizations. The fourth one is report any bug or a feature or any changes or anything that you feel. So now you have the skills, you know how to use the version control like Git, GitHub. You found in which thing, in which organization, in which project you want to do. Now you have finalized everything. Now how to go ahead? Now just go through the codes, just go through the documentations, and just go on, and just in case you find a bug. What is a bug? Can anyone tell what is a bug?
Development phase.
Bug is anything wrong or anything right, wrong codes written in a
In our code.
specific order. Then bug is type of we can say that
Problem.
weird. I mean कोई भी गलती कोड में जो लिखी होती है उसको हम लोग बग कहते हैं और जिसे एक कोडर फाइंड करके और फिर रिप्रेजेंट करता है.
This is absolutely correct. Anyone who wants to say any other definition? Okay, so yes, my friend said right. This is exactly what a bug is. It's basically some function which doesn't fit well and it doesn't work properly. For example, we might have an animation. Okay, we have an animation in a website. That animation is, not smooth enough, or the animation is not apt enough, it doesn't work properly, so we report it as a bug. So bug is not something, any insect or something, or any big thing like a virus or something. It's basically any feature or a function which is not correct, which is kind of a negative, which doesn't work properly with overall. So thank you so much for interacting so well and giving the correct answer. So this is a bug. So go through the codes, go through the documentation. If you find any bug, if you want to add another feature, if you want to edit any feature, if you want to correct any feature, you are open to do whatever changes you actually wish for and submit it to the organization. Now your task is done till now. All right. Now what next? Guys, it's not always confirmed that the organization will like your approach, will like your code, will like your submissions. But yes, if it's good enough, if it's actually able, they are actually able to validate it, they will actually collaborate and merge it in their own code. So this is how the overall approach is, a step-by-step approach to open source contributions. Now, is it for me? So yes, of course, it's for everyone. Um, just a second. Yeah. Now we come to the, yeah. Is it for me? Yes, it's for you. How should I collaborate? Okay, guys, you should collaborate with the upcoming Festival of Developers, Hacktoberfest 2022. Like, what is exactly Hacktober? So before moving into Hacktober, because I need to explain what are pull requests and everything, let me give you just a small demo of how things work, and just give me a minute before I switch my screen. Is my screen visible?
Not yet, Khushi. Can you try it again?
Okay. Is it now visible?
या किक स्टार्ट
Yep.
यहाँ पर सिंपली हमें रजिस्टर करना है. रजिस्टर करने के लिए क्लिक कर देना है और रजिस्टर.
Is someone saying something?
No,
That
so sorry for that. You're good to go.
all right. Is my screen visible, by the way?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. So guys, coming back to the session, I'm sorry for the delay. I was about to explain you firstly like how can we go making, you know, a basic thing, nothing going into much complexity, just leave it on time, just focus on getting very basics and just make sure you, you know, get the best out of this session. So yeah, completing every bit of it. Firstly, before the hands-on, let me first tell you what exactly GitHub Student Developer Pack is. So as I said, it's nothing like a membership or it's nothing like something that anything promotional. It's for the students and basically for the developers, the designers, people who choose to code. It's just some good tools that you get as a student. So yes, being a student is a perk in the community because you know, wait, let me show you something. You have Microsoft Azure subscription, credits for name.com, for DigitalOcean. You know what they are? These are exactly those premium packages of these name.com, DigitalOcean. Then we have Microsoft Azure, we have Canva, we have subscriptions for this, we have MongoDB, and we have credits for these premium packages, you know, especially for the students. These tools are for the students to learn and it's absolutely free. What you need firstly is you know, you need to sign up for student developer pack. So what exactly you need is a college provided ID for email ID for this, and because it's an organization ID that it actually, you know, comes up with. And the second one is a valid ID proof or a valid, you know, offer letter from your letter that gives you the date of you know, when will you be graduating. Just the two things, and of course every college provides this. So with these two things you will be able to get the GitHub student developer pack, and you will be getting, you know, all these experiences. You have so many tools, so many tools, and these tools are not available free of cost. These are actually paid. But if you're a student, if you have the college provided ID, and if you sign up with those that ID, you get the premium packages up till you graduate. So I guess if you have still not yet achieved it or signed up with it, so you must do it right away after this session because it's free of cost, firstly, as I said. And it's actually, you know, it's very, very important. For example, you made a website. Again, I'm just giving the example of websites. I'm sorry, because I myself am into web development. So I think many of you can relate because HTML, CSS, JavaScript basic, I think everyone knows. I consider this. So consider you made a website and now you need to host this. For hosting, you need money. If you're a student, you just need a student ID because name.com is essentially a hosting platform which gives you, you know, the domains and the live domain, and it's with SSL certification that can host your website that you made and free of cost, as I said. So yeah, grab your student developer pack and I will provide the link in the, you know, comment section soon so you can access it. Coming to what is GitHub. Now, the most exciting part for me, because knowing the session, I used to attend the sessions, capture the screenshots of these slides that the you know, host shared, and you know, I used to be like, okay, I got the theoretical thing. I want to learn those, I want to lock those theoretical things by experiencing and witnessing the hands-on thing. So here's the hands-on thing. We are going to github.com. This is my ID. All right. So let me first explain you how it is. I won't be going much detail into much detail, and I just want you to focus here so that it becomes easy for you to grab. And here is the profile. This is my username. Every person has a unique username, just like Instagram and Snapchat. It's here in GitHub as well. You need to log in with your, you need to log in with your email ID, your phone number, just give your credentials and make a good ID. Here's your profile, your repositories, your code spaces, your projects, any stars. These are the features, and then sign out. Well, here are the notifications that you get, of course. Here is something new that you want to start. What do you want to start? A new repository? Okay, click here. A new project? Click here. You want to have a new organization? Click here. So anything you want to create, just add to this plus sign. Now, if you want to search anything, all right, here is so many things that I searched recently. I logged in with my ID. So here are so many things that I searched recently. So you can search anything here and any person here. Okay, so for example, Aman Dattarwal, I guess everybody knows. So let's try searching his account. Okay, so here are the repository results that I got with his name, and this is the filter. In Flipkart and Amazon, you put the filters that the price range or the company or the color, you put the filters, right? Here are the filters as well. It's all GitHub. So the repositories, the filters come, all the repositories under this. If you want to go to any code, you go to the codes. If you want to go to the commits, you go to the commits. I'll explain you in detail what exactly it happens. So it's basically people, wow, people have made Aman Bhattarwal tribute page. So, okay, you get to notice what's going on. So I just randomly searched it because I guess everybody knew it. This is the logo with which you can go to the home. Yeah, the landing page. So yeah, this would be like whatever I follow and wherever which all person I follow, and these are the latest changes that are happening. This is kind of a news feed. Now this is just a how the interface looks like. Let's move on to make a new repository for myself. I want to make a new repository. Okay, and the aim of the session was also like I want to focus on making a new repository. I clicked on new, and okay, going back, recent repositories in the left hand section, I actually made a GitHub slideshow. I did my technical onboarding with Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. It's something like I joined a community. Yeah, just like Discord, people have communities in GitHub as well. So make sure you join those important communities, you be a part of it. It's really fun, guys. And once you get to, start using GitHub, just informal example again. Just as you were new to Instagram, you were just exploring, okay, this is how a story looks. This is how close friends looks. This is how you do the post. Okay, post and reels are kind of same but kind of different too. You now know the difference, and there you go. You use Instagram so fluently and you love it. The same is GitHub, guys. You can even access GitHub from your phone. So yeah, it actually happened in my college that I was not with my laptop, but I knew my project is on GitHub. So I quickly logged into my GitHub account using my phone. I got the repository, I mailed it, and there I was. So GitHub, as I said, is a cloud-based thing. You can access it from anywhere. You just need an internet. So yeah, coming back to the point, I had this, I participated in a rocket design challenge. I made a repository for this. I was reviewing a pull request in the HTML code, and this is how it looks. So all the repositories, I explained what repositories are. So all the repositories are in the left hand side. So if you need to find a repository, you can just go and find any repository of your choice. If you want to have a global search, not particularly a repository, overall, any user or any repository or any project, any organization, you can search here next to the GitHub icon. Okay, now coming back, click on new, because at the left hand side it's the repository section. So click on new, you get to make a new repository. Create a new repository. A repository contains, again explaining, a repository contains all the project files, all the revision histories, what all changes you made, who made the changes, which file the changes were made, which directory the changes were made, when were the changes made, and all the information related to it. So a repository means this. So you have certain templates. I have some templates. As I said, I did my technical onboarding with Microsoft. So I have this template, which I previously worked with. I only worked with this. So for now I have this. In case I would have worked with some other, so I would have, just don't go much into it, but it actually means iske jaisi repository banani hai kya? It's just a suggestion that do you want a repository to be made just like this one? So you can just click this, but I actually don't want to do it. So because I'm a new user, I'm considering myself, I have no repositories as of now, and I'm just making my first ever repository. So here I go, no template. Okay, this would be the same for you guys in case you're doing it side by side. Otherwise you can just focus it here. Now owner is me, Khushi Trivedi, with my username, and I have to give a repository name. Now here is the catch. For example, if you're making a first repository, that's fine for you. But if you're making, for example, your 10th or your 100th repository, just make sure every repository name that you make should be unique. Okay, for example, there's my friend, consider Shruti, any of my friend Shruti. So she made a repository with the name Hello Friends, and I made the repository with the name Hello Friends. That is fine. That actually works. Having the same name, having the same characters, everything is fine, but I must not repeat the name of the repository that I made myself. So my all the repositories should have a unique name. No repository name should be repeated of all the repository that I am the owner of. All right. You can copy the repository name of some other user. That's fine. Okay. So let me first put the name. What name should I put? Any suggestion, guys? Okay, so I'll just go with my underscore first underscore repo. Okay, this is available. So here I go with the repository name, the description, any description that I want to give. But okay, going formal, going a bit professional. This is my first repository, and I'm really excited for this. All right, here's another L. Fine. So this is what I put. Now I have an option. Should I make it public or should I make it private? Okay, as I said, GitHub is an online hosted platform which is free as well as it is paid. So coming to the point, the free version only allows public, it doesn't allow private. For going into the private version, you probably, I'm not aware the changes are, but probably it used to happen that, okay, it's giving an option. So it earlier used to have that you have to pay for the private repositories. So as of now, it's not happening. So yeah, here the changes are. You are creating a private repository in your personal account. If I choose public, it comes up as, just a second, you are creating a public repository in your personal account. So here it is. Next section, initialize this repository with what? Skip this step if you're importing an existing repository. So I'm just including what exactly a README file is. A README file is a description about your repository. What are you exactly making in this repository? What are you aiming with this? What documentations there are? You explain the repository and you talk about what exactly it contains. so that a person if reads the readme file, if any one of you want to know my repository and there are so many other files and everything, by just reading the readme file you should get to know that what am I doing in my repository, what is the repository about, what does it include. So here is a readme file, so you can or cannot add a readme file. As of now we're not adding a readme file, we're just going without it. So choose a license and nothing to do with the beginner level, by the way, and just create a repository by just clicking on this. So guys, congratulations, we are good to go and we are there on creating a new repository, and yes, it has been made. So yes, cheers to it. So this is the name, my first repo. This is the exact name that I typed with underscore, by the way. I did not use space because that is kind of not professional enough in the developer community. We actually prefer, we can have a space, but we do not prefer to have space. I do not prefer to have space, so I did it with an underscore. So this is git add readme .md. This is the extension for the readme file, and this is the repository that I actually made. Now, okay, opening GitHub again, GitHub landing page. Here is my first repo. Earlier, there was no such thing. I just created and it shows updated 1 minute ago. So yes, I made my new repository, and on the landing page of GitHub, this is here, my first repo. So this is how it actually works. And yeah, as I have a new follower, this tells okay how and who person follows me and all. So and about the person and all. So this is the interface that GitHub is. Okay, coming back to the same thing. Okay, so here is the code, the overall code. Here is the README file and everything. Now coming on to, you finally guys have created a repository. This is how simple GitHub is to use. Okay, this is nothing like a rocket science or a complex research thing. It's simply with few clicks, you made your repository. Congratulations. Coming on to explaining these things, how exactly things work, how issues work, how pull requests work, what are these? So, all right, you can pin your repository. All right, if it's very important, you get to work very much. So you can pin your, this is your profile, by the way. So you can pin your repository. You can, fork it, you can star it. So this is how the basic things work. Coming on to, the after making a repository, what next? So here is issues and here is pull request. So guys, we might come across a bug in a project. For example, as I said, in a website, the animation doesn't fit well. So we come across any bug, we report it as a bug. So you go to the organization and raise an issue. This is where you raise an issue. Let's go there. So raising an issue. So we just want to raise a new issue. There are no issues as of now because we just created our repository. But consider this is a repository of some other organization. You can raise an issue in your own repository or anyone else's repository. That's fine. That's absolutely cool. Okay, what should I put the title? I want to contribute here as the hover or feature. Okay, not the hover feature, I must write as the animation isn't working properly. Okay, let's keep it working. So this is the issue. I just want to leave a comment. It's optional. So just for you guys, I'm writing it's optional here. So after submitting a new issue, you finally are confirming that yes, this is the issue that you're submitting. Now, after you submit an issue, here comes one, that in this repository, and it's publicly visible to everyone. It's not only visible to me. That is that there is one issue. Who raised the issue? this is the person who raised the issue. For my repository, I myself raised the issue. So this is about me. So the person raising the issue, when did the person raise the issue? What issue was raised? And was the person the owner or someone else? So everything comes here. All right. So it's, as I said, open source. Everything is open. Everything, open to access anywhere in the world. So this is how it goes. The organization will actually figure out if that is a valid issue or not. Then will again assign you the okay, you raised an issue. The organization, okay, this is my own repository, but yeah, the organization will see if this is a valid thing. If it's a valid thing, then they will assign you the issue. Okay, you know how to work on it, just work on it. Give us what else you can do, because you raise the issue, I want to contribute here as the animation isn't working. So what else can you do by by the animation? Can you just sort it? Can you sort the error and everything? So organization assigns you, and you just write the codes, you suggest your codes. If that goes well, you will start working on the project locally, and you actually make you actually make a clone, not a clone, but a local copy of the whole project, of the whole repository. You make all the changes in that repository, and then you submit it for approval. So this is where pull request comes. Coming on to the pull request thing, what is a pull request? So you actually pull, if that goes well, as I said, if the issue goes well, you start working on the project, and this is how you start work on it locally. So PR is pull request, we call it PR. You kind of create a copy of that project for yourself to work. All right, you yourself work on the project, and this is how you do by new pull request. So you do a pull request, and it's nothing but you just working on that repository, that project locally. You're making all the changes which is only and only visible to yourself, unless and until you go and merge it. You go and merge it to the organization. So when you work on the local copy of a project and make changes, the changes are only visible to you as of now. When you are confident enough about your changes and you want to finalize, you want to make a pull request, yes, you are ready to submit your proposal, your suggestions to the organization. So there you are. After you submit the PR, the organization can review it and look for the modifications that you made. If the organization thinks the modifications that you made are really cool, this actually works, the animations are better with it, so they actually merge it in your thing. So they merge it in your project after you put a pull request. So they merge it, they accept your request. It's just like the Facebook request. If you find the or the follow request, if you find the person to be genuine, you actually add it. If the person is not genuine, you do not add it. So if the pull request or the suggestion or the issue is valid, you add it, and merge it to your project. And if it's not, you do not. Okay, so this is the whole purpose of actually open source contribution. If you successfully merge any pull request or any code in any organization, there comes a tag, you finally collaborated in that organization. For example, NVIDIA. For example, Facebook. You collaborated in Facebook. You collaborated in NVIDIA. It's a huge thing, guys, that just by these simple clicks and some knowledge of codes, some knowledge of the skills, you can actually work and collaborate in a very, very reputed organization. So after you do a pull request, you are all set to go to actually making an open source contribution. Now coming back to the topic, just a second. I'll just come back to the PPT that I explained it in gist. In a gist, I told what exactly GitHub looks like, what exactly a pull request is. Now, coming back to the open source contributions, is it for you? Yes, it's for you. When can I collaborate? It's anytime you can collaborate. It's not only Hacktober or something. Okay, this is the festival, but yes, you can collaborate anytime that you want, and any number of collaborations. Coming to what is Hacktoberfest. Hacktoberfest is basically, as I said, it's a festival for developers and coders out there. It happens every year in the month of October. It starts from September. So from 26th of September 2022, the registrations for Hacktoberfest has started. You can register up till 31st of October. It's not limited, but you have some things to keep in mind. A month-long celebration of open source projects that maintainers and the entire community of contributors do it online every year. So it's online, there's nothing an offline summit where you want to go. It's not paid, it's free for everyone, and it happens every year. So if you're a beginner, let me tell you the eligibility. If you're a coder or a non-coder, you're up for it. Irrespective of the college, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, don't worry about it. We just need you and your skills. Any level of education, if you're just in the first year of college or third year of BTech, or in consider doing masters or something, you are up for it. And but yes, one mandatory, one compulsory thing, you must have a GitHub account for sure. All right. So this is about what is Hacktoberfest 2022. Now, how can I contribute here? So you can add your code. So if you're a coder, just find out any bug, raise an issue, raise a pull request, add your code there. Editing or fixing the error in the existing code, you can fix any error in the existing code, even in the comments, even the spelling mistakes adds as a contribution, and you get a feather on your cap that yes, you collaborated in such a unique organization. You can even find any error in the documentation. Any grammatical error would also work, any major error would also work. But if you're a non-coder, then documentation error, technical writing, this could also contribute to open source contributions. And as I said, even the spelling mistake counts, guys. So be vigilant enough. Now, what exactly is it? Okay, I'm just another time checking on you. Is it going fine, guys? We're just wrapping up in like 5 minutes. So is it fine? Are you all here?
Yep,
Yep.
going good.
Okay, thank you so much. Um, yeah. Now the main part, the best part. How should I participate? So you essentially need to make a pull request by either GitHub or GitLab. As I said, GitHub, GitLab, they are the same things. It's just like the two different things, but doing the same things, contributing to open source, both of them do the same. So you basically need to make a pull request. All right. This applies for only the Git and GitLab projects which have the tags of Hacktoberfest 2022. I know there are so many open source projects, there are so many repositories, there are so many organizations in which you can collaborate. But if you want to participate in Hacktoberfest specifically, you should look for the projects which have a tag of Hacktoberfest. So where I told you, you can search anything in the search bar, just go Hacktober, and there you go. You have the repositories, you have the codes, you have the projects which have the tag. So only the projects that have a tag of Hacktoberfest are only eligible to make contributions. And if you make the contributions in those tagged projects, you will be, participating, and you will be recognized under Hacktober. Otherwise, you can do it anytime or any project. Now, the third one is the project maintainers. That means the organizations must accept your pull request or merge request. So it doesn't have to be like you just submitting any random thing out there. No, it has to be meaningful and valid so that the maintainers, the organizations actually merge your pull request, and there you go, that you collaborate there. And yes, there's a deadline. there has to be minimum 4 pull or merge requests, that is pull request PR that I told. There has to be minimum 4 pull requests that has to be accepted. You can collaborate in many organizations at the same time, that's fine, but 4 merge request, pull request minimum have to be accepted by the organizations up till 31st October. So this timeline of four merge requests and all, it's between 1st October to 31st October. All right. And the next, the last perks, only first 40,000 participants will who complete the Hacktoberfest will get the rewards. And yes, it's a little number if we talk all over the world or all over India. But yes, people who actually get collaborations are very less. You can be definitely among those 40,000 participants if it's a meaningful and a valid pull request and the organization have to accept it, because yes, it's meaningful. You added some value to them. Coming to the most exciting thing, the rewards. So Hacktoberfest gives you two type of rewards. Any one you need to choose. Don't be greedy, guys. You can plant a tree in your name, and mostly the beginners feel that they must have the swags of Hacktoberfest, that the stickers come along, and this is how it works. So all the best for the Hacktoberfest, guys. So now coming a very short thing, I just don't want to stretch it much. What if I told you how to become a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador? So yes, being an MLSA myself, I just want you to tell you this is exactly what MLSA program is. It's nothing like a promotional thing. I do not get anything out of it. It's just for you all. I'm just telling you, it's just for you all. You become an ambassador. I personally am connected to so many people worldwide from so many different countries. I have friends from Africa, I have friends from Germany, I have friends from USA, Nepal, Pakistan, and the neighboring countries. We are in the community, all of us. We're in the global communities, and this is so great to be, learning things. I even had an offer to collaborate with a person who belongs from South Africa. So it's really nice that we have these collaborations. It's very exciting. So who are the people who are selected? We actually want those people in the community who have a good leadership experience, who have passion for technology, who not only learn but also collaborate, who teach their peer members, their students out, the fellow students who study with them and their juniors, and who significantly and generously help in the community. They make a difference. So what are the perks? Don't look at the picture for now. Let me tell you first the very good perks. Microsoft actually gives you a chance to become a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. With this, you grow your skills. How? It gives you the certifications, the vouchers, and the LinkedIn Premium and the LinkedIn Learning as well, so that you learn from every source possible. So this is what Microsoft gives to its ambassadors. So basically you learn and then you reward yourself. So it's the best feeling in the world, guys, trust me. And of course, we have this cool swag kit with a Microsoft t-shirt with the cool stickers of Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. The Microsoft, you get VS Code subscription, you get Azure subscription, and you get socks from Microsoft, the bottle, the cube. You can see the kit, right? Now, there are 4 levels. As you enter, you are the new student ambassador. After you complete some milestones, some learning, after you complete some certification, you become alpha. After taking a session, after doing the technical onboarding, you become beta. When you become beta, you receive your swag kit. And after becoming beta, you have another chance to become gold, where other ambassadors nominate you, vote for you, that yes, you're there to become a gold ambassador. So this was all from my side. Thank you so much, everyone, for being so collaborative, and I'm so grateful that you guys actually were not sleeping in my session, I must say, and you all were responding very well. I'm so thankful for the organization to invite me. I'm very grateful that I get to interact with the audience of Jaipur. This was all from my side, and I'm really sorry if I stretched it too much. In case you have any doubts, do not hesitate to ask. Over to you, Sonakshi.
Thank you so much, Khushi, for joining us today and enlightening us about the tools. I'm sure that this hands on session has helped our audience get familiarized with Git and GitHub. On behalf of IEEE, I would like to extend my gratitude for taking out time for us. Thank you to the audience for being such patient listeners. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I think we're good to go. We can wind this session up.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. And just in case you have any queries or something, you can connect me on LinkedIn. And yes, we have a good community there. So let's connect on LinkedIn. And thank you so much. Thank you again. Bye, everyone. Thank you.